I was sitting in church this morning listening to the sermon, and I noticed my mind was drifting, not in a distracted way, but in a reflective way where something starts forming and you know it's worth paying attention to. So we hear this message constantly in our culture. You can be anything you want. It's said to kids, it's said in schools, it's said in motivational talks and graduation speeches. And I understand the intention behind it. It's meant to inspire, it's meant to remove limits. But the more I thought about it this morning, the more I realized it's just not true. I can't be anything I want. No matter how badly I'd like it, I will never be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I won't ever play in the Super Bowl. I won't even come close. I don't have the physical ability. I don't have the skill set. And no amount of desire changes that, besides the fact that I'm way too old. But here's the important part that realization doesn't discourage me, it actually frees me. Somewhere along the way, we started treating reality like it was something to overcome instead of something to understand. The truth is, limits aren't insults, they're indicators. They point us towards what we're not meant to chase so we can focus on what we're meant to steward. So here's what's true about me. I know how to launch businesses. I know how to see opportunities. I know how to connect ideas, build strategies, and I can even raise capital. That's not something I had to force myself into. It's something that became obvious over time. And it didn't come from wishing, it came from paying attention. So as I sat there this morning listening to my pastor, this contrast became incredibly clear to me. He is exceptional at delivering a sermon, not because he's trying to impress anyone, because he's deeply convicted. He is an authority on the Bible, but not in an arrogant way, in a grounded, lived out way. There's a weight to what this guy says because it's aligned with who he is. You feel it when he speaks. You see it when he talks to people after service. There's no performance to anything he does. He is simply being who he is, a follower of Christ who is committed to discipling people. And because of that, the church has grown, not just numerically, though it has in multiples, but spiritually, relationally, and in depth. The congregation shares that conviction with others. They don't have to be convinced to invite people. They don't have to be trained to talk about their faith. It just overflows naturally. And sitting there, it hit me. This is what happens when someone fully steps into who they are meant to be instead of trying to be something else. We struggle so much because we spend our lives comparing ourselves to callings that were never ours. We chase identities that look impressive. We envy gifts we weren't given. And then we wonder why we feel exhausted, frustrated, or like we're constantly falling short. Trying to live someone else's calling will train you every single time. But when you finally accept who you are and who you are not, something shifts. There's alignment, there's clarity, there's peace. That doesn't mean it's easy. It just means it's honest. You stop performing, you stop pretending, you stop apologizing for the way you're wired. You don't need to be everything. You don't need to be the best at what someone else does. You need to be faithful with what you've actually been given. And when conviction and calling line up, people feel it. Not because you're loud, not because you're impressive, but because you're real. That's what I've been thinking about today. One day at a time, one step at a time, one day better.